Hey everyone, in today's video, hey everyone, it's me Curtis, and in today's video I'm going to be giving you guys the differences, benefits, pros and cons about the different, Hey everyone, it's me Curtis, and in today's video I'm going to be giving you guys the pros and cons of buying versus adopting. So if you're new to owning pets or the pet community, anything of that nature, you may not know that there is actually a lot of different ways to acquire an animal. I'm only going to be talking about two of the main ways, but another way that people get pets is they breed them themselves. That's another thing, but of course that's a whole nother video. Actually, just the two categories, buying and adopting, there's a lot that can fall under either of the two. So adopting can be really considered rescuing an animal, is like, could be considered adopting or would fit more on that side, where buying can be buying from a pet store, buying from a breeder. They're just two separate things, and I'm going to kind of explain to you guys in today's video what the differences between the two are. So I actually have a list here that I compiled on my phone of the differences between buying and adopting animals, and I hope that you guys learn a thing or two from this video. So starting with buying. When you're buying an animal or purchasing an animal, usually that animal was bred to be there. So that animal was, bred to fill a spot. The person who was breeding that was meant to breed, let's say, iguanas or hamsters or rats. So pretty much that breeder should be knowledgeable about that animal, and they are making a ready income from the animals that they produce. Like said, these people are supposed to be certified in what they do, and they get paid readily because they know, okay, when I breed 2 rats, I will get 8 pups. So those 8 pups are ready usually to fill a spot, and the breeder is able to kind of manage the amount of animals that they produce and that are available for purchase. Breeders also usually have lineages and bloodlines of the animals that they breed, so that when they sell off their animals, they can usually give off a pedigree. It pretty much shows like the lineage of the animal that you bought, possible genes that the animal has, and kind of how that was passed down from generation to generation. Usually breeders are very knowledgeable about the animal that you're purchasing, family and their ancestors, and they can tell you, oh, this ancestor had this, and like I said, they're very passionate about what they do and they're good at it. So breeders also can vary their prices very easily based on a certain morph or color of animal that they produce. So for, let's say, ball pythons, let's say they produce a banana ball python and then they produce a pied ball python. They can price those differently because they worked hard and used genetics, thought about genetics, take that all into account to produce 2 different animals. So that is their job, to produce, different morphs of animals and sell them. So up until now, I've been pretty much talking about a certified breeder that you would go to buy, like, let's say, only hamsters or only snakes. But pet stores are a little bit different. They get their animals from mass breeders. And I'm not going to get into that. You can just look it up on YouTube if you would like, and you will see all of the things that happen to small animals before they actually get into those pretty display cases. So now we're going to be talking about adopting. Adopting an animal usually means that you were taking in an animal that may be secondhand or had been abused or neglected. Usually the people that are adopting out these animals are usually not making a huge profit off of what they do, but they're more in it for the care and good intentions of the animal and the person that they end up with. A lot of times when you go to adopt an animal, if they're a baby, you may not know their genetics, so you can't guarantee if they have, some type of cancer or any other type of terminal illness that will end up needing a lot of care and attention in the future. But again, those are some of the risks that you take when adopting or taking in rescue animals. Unfortunately, a lot of times the adoption center or rescue center is the last place that this animal will see before, let's say, they're euthanized, if that particular rescue has a certain amount of animals that they can take in, or before they are adopted out. So as the adopter, or let's say me or you, you're taking the chance to adopt or rescue an animal that may have been abused. It may be skittish, it could have been possibly neglected, it may be untrained, it may bark, bite, scratch, pee all over the house. Those are things that you have to kind of all take into consideration if you're adopting an animal, because Again, a lot of times these animals are animals that are bought in from people who don't want them or who are taken from kill shelters, and they're pretty much there to get a second chance at a good life. So those are the main differences between adopting and purchasing an animal. I hope I did a decent job at kind of explaining the difference between the two, so that if you weren't as educated before, you kind of have a better understanding of the differences between adopting and purchasing animals. Now personally, I have done both. I don't see anything wrong with either of the two. If you're willing to, adopt an animal that you may not know all about, or how old they are, or really too many specific details about them, then I would recommend, go right ahead. You're giving an animal a great chance at another life. However, I also don't see anything wrong with if you want to purchase an animal from a breeder, or maybe pet stores is a little bit different, but if you want to go to a certified breeder, or if there's no animals of that type that you want in for adoption or anything like that, I see nothing wrong with going to a very good certified breeder who is knowledgeable about the animals that they are producing. Honestly, there are pros and cons of adopting and shopping, so at the end of the day, it is up to you. Anyway, if you guys like today's video, make sure you subscribe to make sure that you do not miss any more of my future content, and you can follow me on Twitter and Instagram, which are just @CurtisLasane, just like my channel name. I also run my own Etsy shop where I sell pet supplies. It's called Curtis Lane Pet Supplies. So if you would like to check that out and possibly get some pet supplies, how many times am I going to say pet supplies? Then you can check out the link in the description of today's video. With all that being said, I hope you guys really did enjoy today's video, and I will see you all in the next one.